I love signs, and when you get chills and when you feel that connection from the other side, that it gives us reassurance, you know. Can you tell us the 352 story? With
my
Laura,
goodness.
And how you were like mad at Laura. It was so good.
So I had, so my girlfriend Laura said to me one night, she said, babe, you know, and I had just asked my mom in the bathroom, like, let me know you're okay, let me know you're okay. And Laura kept saying, you know, your mom's waking me up, and it's, you know, this time in the morning, and it's 3:33 or whatever it was, your mom's waking me up, and she's telling me this, and she's giving me this sign, and she's okay, and she's going on, and I'm thinking, really? Because I'm waking up at 3:52, and really? So you're getting an angel sign? I'm not getting an angel sign. Wow. So I'd say to my mom, wow, Mom, okay. And then it went on for a while. And Laura, God bless her, she's out looking for a resting place for my mom. And, you know, she's driving around to Santa Barbara and up and down the coast of, maybe Jackie would like to rest here. It's the one thing my mom, it was the last piece of the puzzle she didn't give me. And she's like, you could decide where I rest. And then and then I asked my mom for a sign. I said, you know, come on. You're waking up Laura at 3:33. I'm getting 3:52. You've got to be kidding. Like, I need a sign that you're really going to connect with me. And the death certificates come in the mail. And I open it up and I'm reading and I'm thinking, okay, this is part of great. Let me read everything that's here. And then time of death, 3:52. I mean, I was like, okay, wow. I mean, it was, wow. I got my sign, 3:52, because I kept writing it down. Like, every morning I'd wake up like, what, 3:52?
Why isn't it 3:33?
What was it? I mean, 3:33, give me a 2:22, give me a 1:11 something. And it was so funny how Laura was like, oh, babe, your mom came to me, 3:33. I'm like, that's nice.
You're like,
that's
why
great.
You Laura?
Yeah, why, really, Laura? Thanks.
So funny.
So but you know, you ask for a sign and you'll get it, you know, and they come in different ways, and it was not the sign that I ever expected, but it was undeniable for me of, I'm waking up at 3:52, she's waking me up at 3:52, and then the death certificate says 3:52.
I mean,
I know.
Forgiveness is one that continues to elude me. Intellectually, I get it. Michael Beckwith, I like.
I love Dr. I love him.
You know?
Yeah.
And I'm just putting myself in your shoes, and I'm like, I get, like, theoretically, I forgive the perpetrator, the murderer, because I don't want him to steal my light. But, like, is there ever a feeling of forgiveness, of lightness?
No. You know what? It's forgiveness is a state of mind. It is not, you're never going to feel like forgiving anybody, because it's such an old, barbaric word that everyone thinks it means condonement, which I was like, I could never forgive that person. And my mom would say, yeah, because you're saying that because you're saying I could never condone that behavior. I can never excuse that behavior. It is never about excusing a behavior or condoning bad behavior. But forgiveness for me is a state of mind of power. And when you are in a state of unforgiveness, you are honestly giving all of your power away, all of your light away, all of your life force energy is going to someone or something that has done something horrible. But you cannot unscramble the egg. It's a wrap. Whatever that deed was, it's horrible. Whatever the act was, it's horrible. But I knew if I focused on his act, what happened, I was not going to move forward and create the life that I wanted to live. You can't do both at the same time. I can't hate someone all day long, meaning think about them all day long, focus on somebody who I don't know, somebody who did a horrific act, somebody who took my mother away. But if I want to create a good future for myself and I still want to live the best life I can live, then I cannot focus on him and I cannot focus on that tragedy that happened, because I cannot unring that bell. I decided I am forgiving for myself, meaning I'm giving up the anger, the frustration, the hate every day. It's like washing a dirty washcloth. It wasn't like, oh, I forgive and it's over. Every time he creeps into my mind, or the act creeps into my mind, or that night creeps into my mind, the act of forgiveness is not, oh, sorry for him. It's, I'm living here right now. I have a husband. I have children. I have friends. I have dogs. I have a wonderful life. I have this. I have this. I have this. And I want to focus on creating good. I'm not, so forgiveness for me is just turning my energy away from negativity, but is never condoning an act ever of bad behavior or violent behavior. And I think that's where we all get tripped up. You know, I had an ex-boyfriend a long time ago. I ran into him and he says, how come we're not getting together? I text you all the time. I thought you forgave me. I go, I forgave you 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to see you again, but I forgave you a long time ago. And meaning, I don't even think about you. Good luck. Yeah, I wish you well, but I don't, you know, and I think another thing people think is forgiveness also includes reconciliation.
Yes.
Sometimes it does, and sometimes it does not. And I think a lot of us get tripped up in, oh, I forgive you, so we'll continue the relationship. Sometimes, and then sometimes no. But the forgiveness is still there, which is just meaning it's the removal of such a dead weight. It's just the removal of a dead weight. It's bye.
Yeah.
Just,
Spiritual surgery.
Yes, spiritual surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good because also when something like this happens, you realize life is so short and you do not have time or energy for the ex-boyfriend or for anybody that's wronged you.
Right. We all have a choice of where do we want our energy to go to. You know, how are we going to create our lives? Like I keep saying that because we do it every day. We plug, every time my phone's dead, I'm always like, oh, I didn't plug it in. I didn't charge. I didn't go to the source. The outlet is the source. Yes. And so every day, now before I go to bed, I don't look at my phone. I say my prayers. I am grateful for today. I ask to be guided every day. I ask for everything. But I have to connect with source before I even go out into this world, because I always tell my husband, because he's the opposite, and I said, you just let 20 million people into your brain before you even started the day. You let every problem that's happening in the world become your problem before you even got into the shower. It makes a huge difference when you don't do that.
It really is. And that's why you made such a beautiful distinction earlier about mental illness and a spiritual illness.
Yes, I think we have a real spiritual illness going on because we're not based in a value system anymore. You know, so this rise in bullying, I'm like, yeah, but bullying, what is that? That's really just somebody saying, I'm going to disrespect your soul over and over and over and over again. Yeah. Well, when you have an epidemic, when you have a pandemic of that with young children doing that to each other, I think it says a lot about the home. I think it says a lot about the value systems of you can't do that.
Yeah.
You know?
And they're certainly not getting the values or the foundations that we were fortunate to have.
Yes.
I mean, I read your book and I'm like, wow, these are such...
But thank God we have, you know, and I think they help society. I mean, the last thing I'll tell you really quickly, because I thought about this just driving here, when, you know, I went to Hawthorne Elementary School on Rexford, and then I ended up moving up the street years ago with Ted, and we've since moved. But this is when I saw things in society start changing, and it was about values and recognition, seeing each other. And I'd watch the crossing guard. When I was growing up, my mom would pick me up from school. The crossing guard would walk us across the street. My mom would say hello. My mom would say thank you. I'd look at the person. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow. When I started watching recently now, I see the parents on the phone. The kids are walking next to them. They do not look at the person who is making sure that traffic is not about to come and barrel down and hit them.
Their children, yeah.
Right. But there is another human being who is not even being looked at. There's another human being who's not being acknowledged, and no one is saying thank you for their service. And when children grow up seeing their parents like that, I'm thinking, well, of course, everyone's mad at all these kids. Like, but their parents weren't doing it. They've checked out too. And it's the little things like that of making sure you hold the door open for somebody, making sure you let the people out of the elevator, all these things. People laugh at all these, good manners, who needs them? You know, you don't get a good society without, or a thriving society with shitty manners. Good luck. It doesn't happen. Yeah. right? So I just
true.
hope, and it goes back to spiritual, it goes back to the values-based in spirituality and honoring the souls that are in front of you.
Thank you for listening to the Heal with Kelly podcast. Be sure to tune in every Thursday for more empowering wisdom and inspiring healing stories. And make sure you hit the follow button on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss that one episode that holds the answer you've been searching for. Oh, and if you found this episode inspiring, please rate, review, and share Heal with Kelly so that we can grow our audience and reach more people. We truly appreciate it. Lots of love.